Hello everyone, it is Jacqueline. Jacqueline Heirloom Vintage and Collectibles. I have been on a journey, you guys. I just cannot tell you. I mean, some things you already know about my health and things I'm recovering, but I wanted to let you guys know what I'm up to these days. I have not given up on vintage. I love vintage. I have my little fairy lamp going right there. I love the art of keeping, um, you know, things that have been created with integrity and with prosperity and with a lot of good materials in front of me. And that's why I love vintage. And the look of it is not mass produced. Well, in some ways it's mass produced. And now they're saying vintage is more than 20 years old, which takes us to like 2000. I do not subscribe to that. Vintage for me is still right before antiques, 1900s, up to maybe the 70s. The 80s is on the boundary for me. That's vintage to me. Oh, sorry, I have my little setup here. I really wanted to come in today and show you what I'm up to. I have been learning the art of junk journaling. I've always journaled and created little, like all of my calendars have journals, but I am really diving into journaling as an heirloom activity. So when I talk about heirloom vintage and collectibles, I'm talking about things you can pass down to generations after you and things you may have collected in generations before you. But I wanted to give you a snippet of what I've been working on because I live in a studio, by the way, and it is chock full of things. And it definitely has lots of vintage things that I need to sell. That's another day and another story. I also love ephemera, and I'm really diving into it. And I have some things I've collected over the years. So, what I've been doing is organizing my space to fit my needs, not just for junk journaling and journaling per se, but also for vintage. You guys may have seen my cloffice. It's still there. I haven't dove into utilizing it the way I want, but I am kind of proud of myself for organizing this table. I had this table just put away, and it was a table you use when you go to conferences or you set up as a vendor, and that's what I had it for. And it was just sitting there, not being utilized. And I really want to utilize things, my stuff. So I'm going to go dive underneath the table first. This is my desk, by the way. It is an older piece. I don't remember. I think somebody gifted it to me. Oh my God, about maybe 30 or so years ago, maybe 40 years ago. But I've had it that long of a time. And I'm sure whoever gave it to me may have bought it in the 70s. It's not an antique, but it is a vintage piece that I really adore. I've carried it to every single apartment. My kids have been through it, and so on and so forth. So, what I did was squoze this desk in the corner, and I put some of my stuff underneath. Now, this is a work in progress. I'm just showing it to you because it's connected to the table that I just finished organizing. Um, in the corner, I have paperwork, office stuff that I've had for many years that I need to go through, workshops I've done, and that's sort of a catch-all. That's in the first green tin. The second green, it's not tin, but basket is, I'm organizing this as well. I have some materials in here that I'm going to be using for my journaling adventure, and then just some cast-offs that I'm gonna go through and put aside, for my journaling. I have some antique zippers and cool things in there that I'll probably keep 95% of the stuff. I just cast it off to the side until I finish this area, which I think I'm 90% done. This is the table. And underneath I have, so I have to utilize every inch of space in my small studio. Whoops. Stay up, curtain. So this tablecloth is also a piece that I use when I go vending, and it was just sitting there not being used, so I am all into using what you have. So here in the back, see if I can point it out, right there are my journals, notebooks, things that I'm going to uh, upcycle or whatever. Some of them are not written in, some are, so I'm going to do something with that. This basket here has all of my, and I'm sorry for the lighting, I'm underneath the table. This has all of my note cards and some other ephemera in that, my mailing stuff, stamps, things that I use for mailing, my envelopes, so on and so forth. Here is a little vintage basket I have with my, and I'll show you a better view of this when I have everything kind of more organized, but I just want to give you a sneak peek. That's where my washi tape is. This is where my stamps are. I've been collecting for about a year. Nothing special. I don't see myself getting many more stamps than this. I got a couple of hole punch and a corner rounder and things like that. But I don't see this basket getting any bigger than that. The next item is this, it's like a, well, you see it, it's a drawer thingy. And this was in my storage unit, and I had the bright idea of like, let me utilize, again, go in my storage unit, see what I have, the stuff that I am going to be putting together for primarily junk journaling. So these will be for my finish tags, which I have somewhere else. They have to get put there. These are tags that I still have to create. So I'm organizing this drawer right now. This will be for my fabric. So the fabric that you saw in the other basket will go in there. And then I'm coveting this empty lower drawer for now until I figure out what I want to put down there, because I really want to utilize whatever I put. I don't want it hidden away, but I also want to be organized. And then here is my current journal I'm working on. This is a family journal. This was my first attempt, and it's so gator mouth. I'm gonna keep this one, but I'm gonna do a different family journal and do that. So I'm starting from scratch again. So that's what's happening there. And I will be bringing you guys some video of some things I put together, but I'm a novice for sure. So I'm not sure how I'm going to utilize, like, learn. I have to learn my skill, learn my craft. I see some beautiful journals. I'm watching a lot of people create them, and they're just so creative and wonderful. Not that I want to copy anyone, but I've learned a lot since my first journal. So, and then here, let me just move this. I put my mirror and the magnifying glass there. This is a vintage mirror. I was going to try and sell at some point, but now I'm just going to use it. And then a magnifying glass that I utilize all the time. And then up in here, this basket, I have some sewing notions. These are my sewing supplies I had before I bought a sewing machine. Now, I used to sew back in the day. Move this guy out the way. He doesn't even belong in there. Back in the day, I used to sew as a youngster in school, you know, when they used to teach you things that was useful. And then as a young adult, I sewed, and then I just gave it up. So that's been a good long time. I'm 62, so it's been a good 30 years that I haven't sewn anything. I didn't teach my daughters how to sew, which is a shame. I know how to hand sew, of course, but using the sewing machine has been a labor of love that I've forgotten. So I did buy a sewing machine, just a cheapo one that I can use really for journaling purposes at this point. And then up here, this little doggy, this little piece I got, you know, at Goodwill or something, but I want to utilize that. I just want to show these boxes I got from a vintage store or thrift store that I shop at regularly. And this little top here was just sunken in, and I glued it together, and I threw some buttons on top just for decoration. And then I was just experimenting, you guys, just to do something to, you know, you got to get started somewhere. So that's what was there. And then I don't want a lot of clutter, which is really what I'm trying to avoid. So I wanted some decor up here, you guys. So I did put the vase that may not stay. These are some supplies I use for my journaling and office purposes. This is a box, something I probably picked up for free at the Goodwill. And I don't know what I'm going to put in there yet. I like the fact of having empty boxes, but I do want them to be used for something. I don't want them to just be for naught. And then I threw a shell on top a while ago so I can open it close. It's useless. Very dangerous too, by the way. And then my beautiful fairy lamp, this, and then of course, this is a paperweight. I forgot where I got it from, but I like it. And I put it there because I wanted something decorative on this desk, not it just being all work, and I wanted something to look at that was beautiful. And then just my label maker, a couple of vintage books. These are 100 years old, so I use them in my journaling, making tags, so on and so forth. This is my journaling prompt thing for myself daily, which I started and stopped. You know how it is. So, and this I bought at like a garage sale. No, it was like a rummage sale about 3, 4, 5 years ago. And the people after I bought it, they're like, whoa, I should have kept that. You know, it's got a hole on top. I was going to use it like to, if I have an event, have people either put their names in or something, but I don't know. I'm just going to use it at home. Then a little catch-all situation. And that was funny. I bought this. I don't know where I got this, maybe Goodwill or something, but it just happened to mimic that. And I'm wondering, how in the heck does that happen? And then also my beautiful prompt box I think I may have gotten from Goodwill. I don't remember. And these are just some art and journaling supplies that I picked up, that I got picked up recently. I mean, my markers and everything's there. These are 2 beautiful boxes. I think I may have got at like one of them craft stores, like a Michael's or something. And they were at a very good price. They were expensive boxes, and they're picture boxes, but I am definitely going to be using them for ephemera or something related to that as I continue my journey. And then the other things you can see for yourself, it's basically cutting board, and I have some little mini cutting boards here. I had extra cutting board, the kitchen ones, so I just put them on top of that, and then I have a little cushiony thing, so if I got to poke holes in something, that's what that's for. And I think that's it. When I am more developed and satisfied, I haven't used this setup, I just finished it, but first of all, happy fall, November, and Halloween was a couple days ago, so happy coming back to you guys. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for watching. If you're new and this is your first time experiencing me, continue to come back and visit me. I'm working on my schedule, but I would love for you to subscribe. Thank you very much. This is Jacqueline, Heirloom Vintage and Collectibles, and I will see you on the other side.